Welcome to Talking Politics with Peter Beimers. I am Peter Beimers. I am a two-time candidate for the New Blue Party, and on Monday nights I will post videos exploring the political scene here in Ontario and Canada in general. Well, it's been a kind of a slow week politically last week, so I'm just going to highlight a few items. So this might be a shorter video than normal, which is okay too. But anyways, the first thing I want to highlight is kind of what the thumbnail was alluding to for this video is that a bit more about the Ford ad campaign that he spent $75 million for, which was an abysmal failure, of course. It's embarrassing. It was astonishing, predictable what was going to happen. And what happened was exactly what we thought would happen. Tariffs went up an extra 10%, and Trump said no more trade talks. So Mark Carney, the prime minister, had to bail out Ford and apologize to Donald Trump for Ford's ad. Ford clearly overstepped his boundaries and overstepped his authority, I believe, and I believe you believe that as well. So hopefully trade talks can start again. We get this tariff business out of the way, figure out what's going on. Ford himself has been laying low since the ad has aired and has not really been heard from since. And I'm wondering if this is an admission of guilt that he knows he did wrong. Speaking of Mark Carney, that leads me to the second point. He's got to present a federal budget, and it looks like it might actually fail. Of course, the Liberal Party doesn't have the NDP to bank on this time around. And it appears the Bloc is not playing as nice as they had hoped, or as we may have, or as many have thought they might, to get some of their way as well. So we might have another election, which would make the third election in Ontario in 1 year, and the second federal election in 2025. And probably, if this were to happen, it'd probably happen right around Christmas time or right after the new year. Either way, I kind of hope it happens. Because I'm noticing a lot of the elbows up crowd, mostly seniors, have come to realize their mistake in supporting Carney's Liberals. What they're finding out is he's no Justin Trudeau. He's actually much, much worse. For one, there's the failure to get a trade deal done with the U.S. They're also realizing that their children are finding life more difficult and more expensive to live. And they're noticing that their grandchildren can't find a job, such as Tim Hortons or McDonald's, Walmart, where have you, because of this mass immigration plan of Carney's Liberals, of placing these immigrants, many of them illegal, into jobs because of the job program placement that's in place by the government. And many teenagers, my niece is one of them, have been told with laughter in their face from the managers, like, we can't hire you here, you're not one of us. And so now, on top of that, Carney's Liberals are once again floating the idea of taxing home equity of homes that are paid off, which would directly and definitely affect the seniors, the elbows up crowd. And there's no senior that I believe, or very, very, very few seniors can actually afford this new tax. Liberal Christians, another group that are now questioning their support, since many Liberal MPs are calling to remove the tax status of churches and are calling on censoring the Bible as hateful, mimicking what's going on in Finland and in England. So who knows? Hopefully, if there is another election, Carney's Liberals fail in their bid for re-election, and hopefully we can get somebody in charge who's an adult in the room, and it can bring jobs back to Canada and put some stability back in place. And a third issue that came out this week, and it has often been said, if you want to pass something controversial, something that'll definitely get opposition, do it on a Friday, preferably on a Friday afternoon. And this past Friday, we had the Supreme Court of Canada declaring that minimum sentences for child pornography possession was declared unconstitutional. And now you're thinking, what? And of course, they do this on a Friday when most people aren't paying attention to the news. And of course, you got the World Series going on as a distraction. But I can't say this is terribly surprising It is hugely disgusting and definitely disappointing. Now, why isn't it terribly um, surprising? In my mind, I believe that the Supreme Court of Canada has become infiltrated with the belief that people are just born this way. They can't help it. Taking that argument that we've heard for years and years, these people, including now pedophiles, are born this way, so they can't help it. But to have a collection of who they believe they are, love is love, after all. The general knowledge as well that many trans folks are pedophiles themselves, which is why I believe they insist on drag queen story hour for children. They insist on the audience of children, which as I was writing this out today, made me ask the question, why can't the parents read to their own children? Why do they need to bring them to drag queens? But be it as it may, the drag queen story hour is one that has these people insisting on having the audience of children. And certainly the courts don't want to appear anti trans or anti drag queen or hateful now, do they? Of course not. So those are the three issues that I believe have happened in this past week. Doug Ford laying low, Mark Carney apologizing and backtracking, elbows firmly down with Donald Trump. The federal budget possibly failing, triggering yet another federal election, and the Supreme Court of Canada declaring that minimum sentences for child porn possession unconstitutional. Well, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. And if you like what you hear, share with your friends, like, and subscribe for when new videos are posted every Monday night. And now for some sad news. As you may know, the Jays lost the World Series. Man, they just couldn't get that big hit when they needed. They seemed to have traffic all 11 innings in Game 7. The Dodgers all of a sudden became a fielding giant, and errors stayed away from them. Some of those catches and plays they made were incredible and were extremely low percentage plays of actually being made. But be it as it may, they won, and hopefully the Jays will be back again next year to win it all. And I'm going to let you know that after the outro from now on, I'm going to give a little baseball talk, probably less than a minute, of my perspective of what's happening in the baseball world. I'm a huge baseball fan, so today's reflection is on the outcome that nobody wanted to see happen, at least certainly not me, on the World Series. But hopefully the Jays will be back, and the offseason starts today. And yeah, we'll see what they do to improve the team over the offseason.